video, I'm going to be making Piggylicious bacon cupcakes from the official Disney Parks Celebration Cookbook. I love these guys. You are going to love them too. It sounds weird, but it works so well for whatever reason. I had these back in 2014 at the EPCOT Flower and Garden Festival. This is a newer Disney cookbook that's come out, and when I saw it had this recipe in it when they haven't had this on the menu for years, I was so excited. I've made these a few times. Every time I've made them, everyone has scarfed them down. It has a bunch of different textures, but it has complementary flavors in the yellow cake, the maple, and the bacon, as well as the salted pretzels. If all that sounds good to you, I actually feel like this is the perfect football tailgate party dessert. So let's go ahead and hop into the kitchen and make this one. Follow along, you're gonna love it. To begin, we need to crisp up 12 slices of bacon. This is nice thick cut bacon, and the way that I like to do it so it's nice and even is to get it on a sheet pan, heat an oven up to 350 degrees, put them all in together, and just let them bake for about 12 to 18 minutes. It depends on how thick the cut of bacon is. So at the 12-minute mark, start watching them, and just as soon as they look like they're crispy and done, go ahead and take them out, and then we're gonna let them cool down and use them later in the recipe. The bacon just came out of the oven, nice and crispy. We're gonna remove it to a plate and let it cool down, and then we're gonna chop it up into bacon bits that we're gonna put in our cake batter. You also may want to save the bacon grease from this because we are going to use bacon grease in the cake batter as well in place of the vegetable oil. Otherwise, you can just buy bacon grease from the grocery store. Most of them have it in the oil section now as well. I'm going to make the cake part of our cupcakes now. And to start off, we're just going to use a yellow cake mix of whatever boxed cake mix you like. I prefer Duncan Hines. I think they put out a pretty good product. No promotion or anything. It's just when I have to use cake mix, that's what I tend to go for. Now, we're going to put in 3 eggs, as well as a cup of milk. And if you can, do both of these at room temperature. I tend to find my baked goods are much better when I'm using room temperature ingredients. And then this is half a cup of the bacon grease from cooking the bacon earlier. Normally the box mix would call for vegetable oil, but because we're making bacon cupcakes, we might as well use that bacon flavor, right? And now we're just going to mix all this up until we get a nice uniform batter. Up next, we're going to put in the crumbled up crispy bacon that we baked earlier. And once again, we're just going to get that mixed so it's evenly distributed in our cake batter. I've got a greased muffin tin and I've preheated the oven to 350 degrees. Now I'm just going to use my ice cream scooper to scoop out roughly equal amounts of this cake batter into each slot. Now that they're all filled, we're going to put these in the oven for about 20 minutes. I do have another tray over here because it does make enough for 24 cupcakes. I couldn't really find a way to make it really fit good on the screen, but I've got 2 trays of cupcakes and you will too if you follow this recipe. I just popped these out of the oven and now we're going to let these cool in the tray for just a couple of minutes, and then we're going to remove them and put them on our baking rack here and let them cool all the way back down to room temperature while we make our maple cream cheese frosting. I've placed a block of room temperature cream cheese into my stand mixer and we fitted it with the paddle attachment, and to that we're going to add 4 tablespoons of room temperature butter, and now we're just going to low and slow mix these together until they get fully combined. Now we're going to add at least a tablespoon, but the recipe says to taste, of real 100% maple syrup to add that flavor. So I'm just going to kind of eyeball it there. I tend to like stronger flavors, so I tend to put in a little bit more flavorings, but once again, we're just going to mix it until everything's combined. Next up, we're going to add 2 cups of confectioner sugar, just a little bit at a time, mixing until each bit that you add gets incorporated and then adding a little more. This is the consistency you want to go for, and make sure you're wiping down the bowl with your spatula just to make sure you get all those good bits incorporated. Now we're going to fill a piping bag and we're going to pipe this over our cupcakes. I've got the piping bag filled with our frosting, and I'm using a circle attachment to kind of make it look like the ones from the picture. And we're just going to spiral that all around the top. And then we're going to kind of move up as we go here to get a nice flat cone. And there we go. And we're just going to continue to do that for each one of these cupcakes until we've got them all iced. All done icing the cupcakes. Don't those look really pretty? The last thing we're going to do is add a little bit of garnish. I've just got some little mini pretzels here that I've crumbled up. And we're just going to take a few pieces of pretzel and kind of just place those there on top of each cupcake. And it gives it this nice little salty crunch and kind of matches the flavor profile, right, of bacon and maple. I finished garnishing with the pretzels. And we're all done, guys. This is a really fun recipe. Like I said, it's one of my favorite memories from the Flower and Garden Festival. It may seem like these flavors are a little weird, but I guarantee you people will scarf these down. I've made these before, and people just go nuts for them, including kids, including adults. It really is, it's way on the sweeter side with a hint of savory rather than the other way around. And the different textures between the cake and the bacon and the frosting and the hard pretzels really just are a unique tailgate food that I think your family's going to enjoy. With all that being said, I'm going to leave it there. I'll see you guys at the next video.